Today's video, we're going over this 1996 Corvette Grand Sport, but before I do my walk around, I want to show you guys all the pictures I took of this thing at the 2024 Bloomington Gold Corvette Show. So I got a Corvette. This definitely isn't it, but mine is pretty close. I did want one of these for a long time. This is a 96 Grand Sport. It's got an LT4 6-speed transmission, 6-speed manual. The really cool thing is that this has over, say your base model is, you know, the blue with the white racing stripe and the 11-inch rear wheels. Now, aside from that, the car is pretty much what you would find in the base model. You know, I mean, it's a really cool car. I mean, this was the holdover to satisfy people because the ZR one was gone. Basically, this is what was going on. This is the thing you had before the C5 came out. This was the highest tier of the Corvette. Although, aside from the rear wheels, you could get the same exact car in the base model or the collector edition. So, you know, as cool as people think these aren't really as special as people want to give them credit for. However, all the nitpicking aside, these are really cool cars. These seats are different than what you would get in the base model. They've got a section that's perforated. Let me see if I can get that there. The perforation would be on this side. See over here, it doesn't have perforation. Right now, anyway, perforated, non-perforated. See the holes in it. So if you want to clone a Grand Sport, you're gonna have to, you know, kind of pay attention to the pattern. Now, when I do my rear seat, or when I redo my seats, I'm not going to be worried about that pattern. I'm just going to be doing the Grand Sport look. Now, all that, you know, nitpicking aside, this is a wonderful looking car. It's a perfect example of why I didn't want blue. I mean, I did want blue, but when it comes to GM paint jobs, especially on the Corvettes, they're not the greatest. Check out that gorgeous orange peel. It's not something you're gonna get away from on Chevys. I mean, you look at a black C4, they're like that too. It just is what it is. Aside from that, gorgeous car. Would I own this? Yeah, I did want this. But, you know, the thing is, it is what it is. But it's an awesome example of a low mile C4 Corvette. It happens to be a Grand Sport. Now, I don't know the build sheet on this. I mean, obviously with the Grand Sport registry and stuff, it's easy to come across the information about the car because they are serialized, and people are like OCD with the let's see here, Lehman City Chevrolet number 369. Only one of 3 made, although there's 1,000 of them. You know, typical Corvette thing. You know, you look at it and you're like, one of 3, but you know, it's one of 1,000. But the only reason why it's one of 3 is because there's an option that's weird on it. It doesn't have red interior. It's got the more common black interior, and it doesn't have ride control. So I'm curious as to know what the actual one of 3, or what would make it one of 3. Anyway, so just kind of going over this, over the base model. There's not really anything spectacularly different because you could get the exact same drivetrain in the base model. Now, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, you know, this is, you know, like the greatest, you know, it's like God tier. Well, my car is kind of like the cheat code when it comes to getting the better version of the C4, because, you know, it just is what it is. I am going to kind of nitpick this car because typically, you know, these more actual rare Corvettes are better kept, and you know, I'm just going to kind of give it a look over. The car is for sale, so, you know, I'm just kind of, it has typical 90s Chevy paint. You know, it's got lots of orange peel. I mean, it's a typical GM paint job for the 90s. Definitely could use some love with a clay bar and somebody that actually knows what they're doing with polishing. But anyway, I've always found it very fascinating that there's always so much orange peel right here on these things. Anyway, I'm very happy that I got the red car. These are nice and all, but for what they actually are versus, you know, the price, I mean, you're just buying a paint job, and the cost of getting an LT4 and making it into what this actually is far cheaper than getting one of these right now. So, which is no big deal. I mean, if you want something that is verifiable, you know, cool. If not, now, one thing I can say is a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, the blue was painted over the white. No, this right here, you can see right here, the sticker isn't quite adhered properly. See that right there? Now, it's a 2-colored sticker. There are some people that do have these stickers, but if you look at it, it kind of looks like the orange peel. And but, you know, I mean, when you look at them, sometimes they applied the stickers crooked. I've seen a few of them where you kind of do this number, you look at it, and one side or the other is like tucked in, and it's like, oh, you would want to fix that, but you really can't, because, you know, are you going to be able to find that stripe? But yeah, the white pinstripe is as wide as the blue pinstripe. Grand Sport Registry, you can actually get these aftermarket, and they are actually really nicely made, but this is how the factory ones actually mount. And clearly this car had, oh, aliens, you see that? Oh, alien light fairies. I'm just joking, it's just lens flare. I mean, it's in really good shape. Very, very good shape. I'm curious to know how many miles are on it. But, yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm really happy that I got my car and then decided to go how I went with my car. I'm very happy that I did that. And, you know, if you've got a Grand Sport, awesome. They are awesome looking cars. But they're not as fantastic as I used to think that they are. Especially, you know, I like how my car's set up better than the Grand Sports are with the ZR1 wheels. Really cool thing. Oh, let me look at the passenger side because the sun's kind of working against me here. And it may sound like I actually don't like this car, but I really do love it. I mean, I would drive this thing all the time. The only bad thing is, if you get one of these and you decide you want to modify it or you want to do something crazy with it, justifiably so, the community's gonna lynch you. And it's in good shape. It's been put in garage and just left and just kind of done with whatever. It does have some dry rot on the bushings, but that's par for the course. Yep. Looks good. Looks good. Looks real good. But if you want a Grand Sport for half the price, look into the base model LT4s. And then if you really absolutely want the look of the LT4 Grand Sport, Corvette Central, they sell the fender flares, and you can go aftermarket with the 11 inches or go with AFS wheels or do something like that, and you'll end up with a Grand Sport look. The calipers, I do want to mention the calipers. They do have Corvette on them. So if you were to have an issue with these calipers and you need to replace them, they're going to be a little harder to find. My understanding is the collector's edition have those as well. And then on the rear calipers, they're the same. They're just black. Well, let me rephrase that. These are the same calipers as your base model, 96 base model. But the front ones have the machined Corvette logo, and the back ones are just, you know, black, powder coated black, or whatever they EP coated them, or whatever. Anyway, good looking car. If you want an investment grade C4, I would say this one's probably going to be the one. If not, then I would say if you want a driver, get your base model LT4 and just kind of enjoy it from there. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. So I got a Corvette. This isn't it. Mine's over there somewhere. Tell me about yours. Do you have a Grand Sport? Tell me about yours in the comment section below.